Hi everybody, how are you doing today? I'm Doug. It is day 15 over 21 days of yoga, and the start of this week we're going to dive into some more advanced postures, beginning with Warrior 3. So we'll work into a one-legged full body balance, and it'll really show us our connection of not only understanding momentum, but our relationship to our center of gravity. So when you're ready, I'll meet you on your mat in just a moment. In this session, we'll start on our back, roll on down. Take your moment, find your foundational roots, maybe starting with your shoulders or your hips and then radiating that out. Knees can be bent, your legs can be long, whatever feels really good for your body. And feet, all of these things are just kind of open to suggestion, whatever is calling you. Take a full breath in, wiggle it out, make a little sound as you exhale, let go of some tension, let go of some vibration, allow that to just draw you into your moment. Here for 3 more breaths. Carefully discovering your intention, those words, those phrases, that mantra of yours that might root you and allow you to grow. With strength, with patience, with daring. Last one, big breath in. Nice, strong. Exhale it out. Let that breath flow away. Beautiful. Inhale, draw your knees into your chest. Flex your toes. Grab for your shins. Round to a tight little ball. And as you slowly open up your back body, maybe flare your elbows out just a little bit. Release your shoulders away from your ears. Squeeze a little bit tighter. Last 2. Good. Final one. Exhale, relax your shoulders down, switch your hands down to your hamstrings, and start to extend through the back of those legs. You do not have to lock out your knees. Your back head is nice and easy on your mat. Roll out your ankles, point flex your toes, just for 2. On 1, carefully kick into those heels. Again, whatever easy space behind the knees you need to find this, go ahead. Flex your toes, then point. Flex, point. 3 more times. Open up your shins, examining your calves. Last one, point. And flex. Drop your knees into your chest. Carefully rock and roll up and down your spine 3 or 4 times, just warming up. And let those heels of yours find your mat so you can discover your foundation, your center of gravity. Now we're going to slow it down and try to float into that. Heels, not touching your mat, just finding that balance, and the heels can tap. Take that 3 more times. And the slower, the better. Lifting through your heart, discovering that tripod. You do not have to go fast. You can take your time, but it can be very soft. Just play with it. Yeah. Squeeze your legs together. Perhaps your heels find your mat, perhaps they don't. Wherever you're at, lift your heart. As your knees travel closer to your heart, your shoulders are going to lift taller. The further away your knees are from your chest, the more your shoulders are going to have to travel back. And now this counterbalance is really so that you can hold that center of gravity. We're going to explore that more and more today. So just take it 1 more breath in. Discover whatever leg variation is really there for you. Exhale, cross your ankles. Ooh. Give yourself a nice little moment. And find a gentle cat-cow. Just a light little variation. Start to draw those circles now on your mat. Open up your sacrum. Open up your tailbone, rolling through your glutes. And you can take that same circular rotation up into the sky. Last 2. Good. Final 1. Inhale, lengthen, track your tailbone into your mat. Hold for 3. Shoulders softening away. Your heart, your crown of your head, your belly button extending out and up. As your spine, your sacrum, are rooting to your earth. Last breath in. incredible. Exhale, tabletop position. Discover this pose for yourself. A little bit of organic movement, whatever your body is calling to for the next 4 count. And as we're working through, finding your center of gravity and where that is different in every human body. For men, mostly it's gonna be a little higher. We have larger shoulders than hips, so that's where the majority of our weight. For ladies, it might be a little bit lower, but your body and where your strength resides is going to change it up. And the beautiful thing is, once you start to find that center of gravity, that's where the play really begins and honing that strength there. Last one. Start by finding your tabletop, knit your lower ribs in, elbows squeeze a little bit closer together so there's a strength radiating up all the sides of your arms. We're gonna start to fly our opposite arm, opposite leg up. Take those extended stretches, our belly down core work. So on your inhale, reach your right leg out, left fingertips. Exhale, elbow and knee to touch. Inhale to extend. Exhale to squeeze. And just take this 3 more times. Just warming up that connection. Feeling how from this inhale, your extension out from your center, and then inviting that connection back in. 1 more time. Squeeze. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, release. Rediscover your foundation, a little bit of organic movement. So we're taking the same side, same idea, opposite side. Inhale, right hand, left fingertips. Left toes reach out. Exhale, elbow and knee to touch. 4 more. And as you're shooting up, your energy is extending from that midpoint and then wrapping itself back around. Last 2. As we move into these larger postures, testing these limits, release your right hand, left shin down. That same general concept is always there. 1 more breath in. Exhale, tuck your toes, downward facing dog. Press your heart forward for a moment. Shift your hips back. And as you roll into this pose, your heart's gaze falls to your toes. Open up your back body. Chin falls into that center chamber. 1 more breath in. Exhale, bend your knees, tiptoe your feet to meet your wrists. Forward fold. Feet can be hip width distance apart. You can test your balance by walking those feet in, toes together, heels a sliver of room apart. Bend your knees, roll it up. Arms, shoulders, head are really heavy. And as they start to stack over each other, they squeeze a little bit of lovely compression. Exhale, relax your shoulders down your back. Let your intention, that mantra, it can be anything. You can connect to your belly, your heart, and let yourself play with that gentle energy. The playground that is you. On your next breath in, blink open your eyes, see your lips, inhale through your nose, mountain pose. Fingertips reach out and up. Pinkies travel internal. We're gonna go right away for a steeple grip. So keeping that chest and your back broad. Exhale, wrap your hands together, intertwine your fingers, pointer finger reaches towards the sky. Tuck your tailbone, and as you strengthen into that tailbone, notice how your inner glutes fuse and pull towards your heels, and that's going to support your transverse abdominal as your transverse abdominal starts to wrap around your trunk, your side bodies. Take 1 more breath in. Exhale, roll your eyes up, drop your shoulders down, shift your hips forward, light heart opener. So we're not trying to pour super far over here. I want you to just find that elongation and that support from your lower belly to your lowest, from your lowest belly, I should say, all the way up into the upper core, where your abdominals merge into your rib cage. 1 more breath in. Lift here, out from your tailbone, out from your hips, track it through. You can feel that extension into your under triceps. Exhale, hinge it forward. Bend your knees softly, and with a nice flat spine, try to draw the straightest line you can along your front wall. And take your time. This isn't a rush. This might take a few breaths, so you can always take an inhale. Exhale, keep drawing that line. You can take another inhale. Exhale, draw that line. Release your hands to your earth. Bend your knees. Inhale, roll it back up. You're gonna take that 2 more times. Fingertips reach towards your sky. Exhale, hands fuse together, steeple grip, shoulders drop down. Tuck your tailbone. Inhale, lift up, shift your hips forward. This time we're just gonna be here for a breath. We're gonna take the same 3 breaths perhaps all the way down. So as you exhale, maybe you find that inhale right here, maybe 1/3 of the way through your fold. Exhale, traveling it further. Pull your shoulders onto your back as you inhale. Exhale all the way back down. Bend your knees as much as is needed. Release your hands, mountain pose. Last time. As our fingertips rise up, we're gonna take one small variation here though. Exhale, hands to your hips first. Walk your feet out. We're gonna go nice and wide. So toes perhaps to the very edge of your mat. Heels tapered in a little bit more than your toes. Bend those knees. Arms to rise back out, steeple grip. Inhale, lift it up. Bending those knees. Send your tailbone back as you exhale. Flat spine. So as your hips travel back, your fingertips reach forward. Notice that polarity in your body. Melting, 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 melting your ribs all the way through. Beautiful. Hands to your mat. Feet as they are. Inhale, halfway lift. Fingertips to discover your earth. And lift your chest. Keep those knees super bent. Tuck your tailbone. We're holding this posture for 5. Draw your shoulders down your back. Continue to open your heart. So you're peering your heart down towards your fingertips and then letting that energy radiate up toward the top edge of your mat. Last 2. One more big breath in. Suck those lower ribs in. Exhale, hands to your mat. Step your feet back, whichever one you'd like to walk back first, and then the other. Hinge it forward. Lower all the way down towards your earth. Keep your hands underneath your shoulders. Anchor through your hips. Roll your elbows towards your heels. Tops of your feet stay planted. Inhale, mini cobra. Squeeze those elbows. Lengthen your shoulders down towards your ankle bones. Extend your heart out and up. And here's a great moment where you can feel the opposition of your heart and your tailbone, how they're working in completely different fashions, yet they're the yin and the yang of each other. So with that sensation, lower your heart down for just a moment. Regather. We're gonna lift our legs and find a full locust pose. Hands can stay grounded, and then you can always eventually detach those palms. So begin by lifting your chest. Don't go as high as normal though. Let yourself hover a little bit more. And then when you're ready, begin with your non-dominant leg. So perhaps you lift your left foot, like myself, I'm a right leggy. And then once you feel that connection, carefully lift your right leg, your dominant leg. And so we're just hovering here, not really extending too much. If you want to go a little bit further, press into your palms, start to lift those legs in opposition. And then those hands of yours, your fingertips, your palms can reach out. So you airplane your arms here. And this is really comfortable if you have any shoulder tension, if your rotator cuffs are a little tight today. If you want a little bit further, you can always go for a little skydiver, bend the elbows, cactus the arms, or reach those hands out fully. Wherever you're at, we're just here for another 2. Always pulling in opposite directions for 1. Hands underneath your shoulders, release your feet, chest, chin. Your favorite ear. Don't worry, we won't tell. Number 2, arms full by your side, bend your knees, sway those ankles, those heels. Ooh. And as you're relaxing the muscles and the ligaments and the powerful points of your lower back, just breathe in. You're not trying to crush out space. You're cultivating space there. Last 2. Good. On 1. Legs start to get heavy. Hand walk underneath. Rise up into your tabletop. We're going to work into our Sun B, just our second foundational flow. We're not gonna move breath to move, but we are gonna build posture upon posture. Tuck your toes, downward facing dog. Send your hips up and back. Good. Right leg is gonna lift up, creating some stretch. Flex your toes. Exhale, low lunge. From here, we're just gonna roll into our crescent. Let's find that crescent lunge first. Bend your left knee, tuck your tailbone. Anjaneyasana. We've been here so many times thus far in the previous 14 days. So just square yourself and discover the balance and the foundation of this pose really strong, because we're gonna play with this by rolling down. And by rolling down, what I mean is we're gonna reach our hands up towards our sky, big breath in, and then letting our head, our chin, our crown guide us. Tuck your chin into your chest and start to let those shoulders roll forward. Keep that core engaged. Notice how you draw your heart in, your ribs tuck in, everything's going. Tailbone has to scoop under, hands to your mat. You're just gonna start to tap. Maybe that happens, maybe it doesn't. Maybe you grab a block, you just tap that block, and then inhale, roll it back up. Good. So take that 2 more times. And again, it's not just necessarily breath and movement, it's just slow movement. If you need to take an inhale, take another exhale out. And just tap the block. Inhale, roll it up. The inhale's normal, you're probably just 1 full breath in. One last time, roll it down. And you can just connect that front core to your back core and that little shell that you're creating around yourself. Inhale, and you break open that shell. Tailbone draws down, bend that back knee. Crown of your head lifts up. Exhale, warrior 2. Readjust your legs. Keep those hips open. Block can stay where it's at. You can always float it inside your lead foot, because we're gonna go into a nice long extended side angle. Inhale, lift up. Cultivate that space from hips to shoulders. Exhale, slide it forward, and extended side angle. Right arm into your right thigh, left arm grows to your sky, and you can hold here. If you want to deep dive a little bit further, a block is a great option because you can drop down a little bit further, press into something while still pulling away, and find that deeper strength in your core. Wherever you're at, we're here just for 3 breaths. 2. On 1, big inhale. Hold for your exhale. Let's reverse our warrior. Left hand can travel down towards your back, left thigh, right arm rises up. And we're just expanding into those rib cages. Again, as you shift your tailbone, notice tailbone's gonna pull down, your heart's still gonna lift out and up. There might be a slight arch to this, but that's because of the articulation of your body. And drop into that front knee. It's a great understanding of how that angle is shooting out, how your right side body, your left side body are again pulling in opposite direction. 1 more full breath in, good. Exhale, fall back into your warrior 2. Take an inhale. And we're just gonna go through 3 breath cycles, playing extended side angle into reverse warrior and exemplifying our core. Exhale on your breath out, extend the side angle. Inhale to reverse your warrior. 2 more times, extended side angle. Inhale to reverse. Knife edge of your back foot allows you to press forward. Power of your big front toe allows you to float back. Exhale, work your way down. Frame out your right foot, maybe you slide that block away. Hands, frame out that right foot, drop your left knee down, untuck your left toes, and take a gentle half splits. And with our half splits here, we're stretching across, warming up that Achilles, that calf, more so than maybe the hamstring today. So feel free to keep yourself in a nice, generous right knee bend and flex those toes forward. Give yourself that big room into that arch. You can always grab your toes and just slowly apply a little bit of stretch here so you can open up the fascia of the bottom of that right foot, that lead foot, last 3. Good. 2. 1. Bend your right knee. Tuck your left toe, step your right foot back. We do the same thing on the other side. Downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg high, flex your left toes. Exhale, low lunge. Root into your foundation, readjust whatever you need. Open up into your crescent. We won't be in this as long as we were the previous one, so find your foundation. Let those roots really guide you. Femur head, hooking into your hips, hips squared just like your shoulders. Inhale, lift up and out. Commit to those legs. Exhale, from your chin, your chest, roll it down. And as you're rolling down, perhaps you tap your mat, perhaps you grab that block of yours. Inhale, drop it back up. 2 more times, and these rolls can take your time. Strong core, tailbone scoops under. Last one. Exhale, warrior 2. Rediscover your legs. You'll have to walk that back foot back a little bit deeper. Commit to your front left shin. Square your pelvic bone. Take 1 more inhale. Exhale, extended side angle. Left forearm, finding whatever variation you speak to. You can reach it down. We're holding for just 3. 2. Play with those little modifications, those little alterations. Last one. Inhale, right hand to your right thigh. Left arm rolls up. Big stretch. Left elbow bend. Release through your side body. Drop into your left shin for 2. Tuck that tailbone, full breath. Lift your heart towards your sky. Your tailbone draws towards the core of the earth. Exhale, warrior 2. So just like we did on the other side, we're gonna take a breath in. We're gonna flow through extended side angle, reverse warrior 3 times, just amplifying that connection to your core. Exhale, slide it forward. And you can close your eyes. That will help out a little bit more. The balance challenge means that you have to use your center body to keep yourself fully connected. One more time. As you breathe it out, bring out your left foot. Take a breath. Release your right knee down and tuck your right toe. Straighten out your left leg and flex your toes. Take that half split, and just like the other side, let's not focus so much on the hamstring. We're gonna keep a nice bend in our left knee. Get into that back calf, that back Achilles. Stretch maybe across the fascia of your bottom or lead foot. For 3. 2. Good. 1. Bend back into your left knee. Frame out your left foot. Tuck your right toes. Downward facing dog. And this we can stretch across your hamstrings. Woo! Get into all that space. We've just got one last posture. Warrior 3 to jump into. Inhale, right leg high. Exhale, step your right leg through low lunge. So for warrior 3, our body's gonna create a T. Our right foot is gonna be our foundation. We're gonna step all the way onto that leg. Always an option to grab your block. Even if you've been in this posture before, it's a great way for you to find that true equilibrium. So inhale, bend into your front knee, draw your heart forward. As you shift your weight forward, you're gonna notice that gentle extension as your heart travels beyond your toes. Your hips start to stack over your ankle, and that back foot detaches. Your back foot can be softly to your earth right now, just kind of finding that base. And that's where the left hand on your block, stacking under your left shoulder is so crucial, is you can use this press to help float that back foot up. If it's detached, you might find it a little bit more difficult to really trust that balance. So take your moment here. Hands can be close to heart center. As you lift up and out, You're extending your tailbone through the center or inner arch of your left foot or that lifted leg. And bend this knee as much as needed. Giving yourself that growth. Finding that power. Good. Softly toes to tuck. We're gonna roll up into our crescent lunge, rising up. Hands find your hips. Woo. And give yourself a second. You can bend in, kind of soften down. Always option to find a warrior one here and just let that lower back release. So we found the first building blocks of our warrior three. Couple things that always happen to anybody, no matter how much they practice, how often they practice, is a little misbalance. So as we're going through, three things that happen quite often in this pose for everybody are just key alignment issues. First one is, we're in this posture, we start off really low and our shoulders are super low and that foot lifts up. So you can see, because our heart is low, that back foot rises, just like kind of a teeter-totter, or vice versa. The back foot's really low and the heart is lifted, and a lot of weight and stability is having to be forced onto that leg. So those are two key ones where the girdle here is not fully supported either way. So as you're playing with that, you're letting those hips square and you're discovering that equilibrium. That's where the block is so nice and valuable to work into. So you can use your arms here to help support that balance. The last one deals with the rotational hips. So quite often is, as we're still building the core strength, instead of our hips being square to the mat, this hip will be a little lift, top hip floating over. So meaning we never really find the balance because we're not just floating through one plane, we're floating through three really. We're twisting, we're turning, we're supporting. So again, the block helps us because when we bring under the opposing shoulder as opposed to the grounded leg, we can really commit, shoulders are square to the ground. So that allows us to really kind of find that squared hips. So use the block however you'd like to really find that foundation, find that warrior three in your body. So let's take it here, and we've been standing for a little while, from this crescent, transitioning into the warrior three. Then we'll switch out and do the other side. Inhale, arms to reach out and up. Exhale, left hand, find your block. And as it does, your heart already hinges forward. Maybe you can feel you're a little bit more towards the back of your mat, towards the back of your ground, than towards the front. So feel free. Right hand on your right thigh, walk that block forward about 3 or 4 inches. Shift over, and there we go. And we can start to use that strength, like we found our locust pose, of our lower back, our glutes, to help lift our back leg. And then our quad and our transverse abdominal steps into the party. Take one more breath in. Good, exhale. Hands to your mat, step your block away, flow through a vinyasa. Give yourself a stretch. I suggest taking a little bit more of a gentle vinyasa. Maybe those legs are grounded, you're just opening up across your hips, good. Exhale, tuck your toes, downward facing dog. So we're doing the same thing now on the other side. Inhale, left leg high. Exhale, step your left leg through low lunge. Block, might find ourselves first. And we're just gonna take our time, travel your heart forward. Your heart shifting, 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 until eventually your weight stacks over your hip. Again, walking that block, hands at heart, flex your toes. Bend in that left knee, point, life is there. Use that strength. Last one. As you breathe it out, release your right toes to your mat, arms to rise up. And then once again, let's bring our hands to our hips. Take your time. You can see I kind of fell it back into that warrior one foundation, just kind of giving yourself a little ease. So we really worked on that momentum and that little shift. Now let's talk about our control of it all, and that's our foot. So your toes are gonna be your brakes in a lot of things. So they're gonna be able to grip, and as they grip and peel up, that really sends a lot of strength to stop your momentum. And what your heel does is it applies pressure so that there's energy riding up the actual structure of your leg. So your heel's there to kind of press you up. So use those two mechanisms to propel you forward, but stop you from going too far, and then lift you up once you find that safety. Inhale in, fingertips rise, and you can always start in a warrior one Exhale. Hands again, fall down, left hand maybe on left thigh, right hand on that block. And already you kind of left that block where it felt comfortable. Just leave it there. If that feels normal, to shift it up and finding that warrior three. Hands to reach out. A little sunshine radiating down, never hurt anybody. We're here for two. Good. One. Take your moment. Right toes to your mat. Hands to your earth. Step your legs back. Flow through your vinyasa. Maybe take that big stretch, whatever it is. Downward facing dog. Lovely, lovely, lovely. As you exhale, we'll meet on our shins. Take a nice little seat, sitting onto your heels, stretching across your ankle bones. Hands resting on your thighs, chin into your chest. And just feel that support. One of the lovely after effects of strength building, of cultivating power, is how it gives you the opportunity to bloom, to blossom, to open up. And as you exhale, you can soften those edges. Fantastic. One more breath in. One more breath out. We've done a lot. We've really gathered quite a bit of strength, and we've tested our limits and found a little bit of understanding of momentum. So we're just gonna rest ourselves a little bit. Before we do so, I wanna take a big stretch across our front leg. So you can see here, I'm roughly about, there's a little bit of separation through the legs. You can walk it up as wide as feels comfortable, but you want the ability to press firmly into the tops of your feet and your big toes to touch. So if you need to, create a little bit more space between your legs. If you have two yoga blocks, you can always do this. If you have any tension in your lower back, again, there's a lot of variations, so don't overdo it. Starting off, we're just gonna walk our hands back, and you'll see the fingertips are pressing down, but your palms are not. So you give yourself these little spider tip fingers, and then rotate those elbows in, open up your chest. And we're just here letting this soft, lazy L happen. As we breathe in, we lift our hips, take that stretch, anchor through the tops of your feet, just open up. We're here for three. We're just taking this stretch, tailbone drawing down, heart pulling the opposite direction too. As you exhale, hips onto your heels, walk yourself forward, sweep those legs around in front of you. Ooh, yeah, good job. Again, that moment of noticing how our body is so used to pulling in opposite directions subconsciously. And so amplifying that experience is very easy for us. And the more you get awareness of that, the more you notice that you're doing it in every little situation, the better it is. So let's take it here in our forward fold. Inhale, arms reach out and up, big stretch. Exhale, float that heart out. And as your heart floats out, your toe bone's like, I will go in the opposite direction. Support your stretch. I really care about this stretch. Good job, you. Chin into your chest. Elbows drop down. A lot of times when I start to talk about body parts and I give them personalities, I instantly go to Fight Club. It's like I am Jerry's left ear. Last two. On one inhale, roll it up. Scoot to the middle of your mat. Let's end on our backs just like we began. Roll onto your spine. Extend your legs up towards the sky. Take a second. Wiggle out those toes. And then on this one, we're gonna keep our hands on our outer thighs. We're just gonna let the legs softly open up to the edges. Maybe bend your knee, bend your elbows, you should say. Bend your knees if you'd like. And just give yourself the stretch and just waddle left and right. And the great part is you can kind of just extend your legs when you want. You can bend your knees whenever you feel like it and just create that room. And if you want to take your elbows off your mat, go ahead. We're just gonna finding this really big, juicy, happy baby with very little structure for three. If you've been holding or working that Ujjayi breath, you can let that dissipate on two. Nice inhale on one. Forward to meet your knees, flex your toes. Exhale, final Shavasana, legs long, arms long. We'll be here for a few moments together. Ooh, there goes that block. Breathe in across your body, inviting your intention into that breath. Exhale, hug your knees into your chest. Awaken your frame, awaken your energies. Work your way up however you like into your easy pose. Legs crossed, and today, take the alternate path. So switch those legs up, and you can always tell which one's the normal, which one isn't. The one that feels most awkward is probably the one you rarely take. Hands resting on your knees, elbows melt down. Take a full breath in, lift out and up. And in this moment, feel your north, your south. And what's fantastic is, as we draw into our south, we connect to the earth. We're all drawn to this magnet, this globe. And our energy shoots out from the center core to the outer space. But it also hits the atmosphere and softly, incredibly radiates down and around us. Take one more breath in. Exhale, palms come together, thumbs rest on your sternum. There is momentum within you, a force and a power, and you can control it so immensely. As you inhale, float that momentum of your heart to your third eye. As you exhale, bow forward, float that momentum out to those around you, in your space, on other continents. Namaste. Beautiful work. Warrior 3 is such a complex and hard posture to truly construct, but it's also one to have a fantastic time building and progressing and discovering and journeying through. So as you're working into this pose, as you're strengthening your body to achieve each and every level and grow from those levels to greater things, love what you find. Love the gold and the glitter that sits within you. And thank you again for joining me. I will see you again tomorrow as we keep expanding in our yoga practice. Bye.